Rev up your engines for the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast with Big E. Proudly sponsored by Christensen Law, where bikers helping engine bikers is more than just a motto. It's our commitment to the biker community. Be sure to tune in and listen to the latest news and biker buzz. And for all your personal injury needs, be sure to contact the Christensen Law team at 248-900-9000. What's up, bikers? It's Big E, and you're listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. We're talking all things bikes, the freedom of the road, and the brotherhood that makes this lifestyle what it is. From killer tips to wild stories from the highway, we've got it all right here. Life is short, bikers, so let's get after it. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. So this week, being that the riding season seems to be rapidly coming to a close, I thought it might be cool to have somebody that probably looks kind of forward to this type of time of year. Tim Schultz with Behind Barz Cyclewerkz. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You guys probably get busier this time of year, I would guess. People wanting stuff done to their bikes over the winter, and yes,
yeah,
no?
a little bit.
A little bit?
Yes. It slows down a little bit, but a lot of people don't plan ahead. You get that, pack it away, and I'm gonna worry about it when spring comes, and then, and then it's like gung ho. Oh, I need tires. Oh, I need an oil change. And we get slammed in the springtime right before riding season.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of sort of looking forward to the off season because I want to do some modifications to my bike. But we'll get to that. Give us a little bit about your history and your background.
So me personally, I pretty much out of school went into construction, even though my dad told me to stay out of it, but I followed in his footsteps. So on and off, 20 years of rough framing, woodworking and stuff like that. And at 29, I went back to school and got a associate's degree in drafting design technology and decided to go sit in front of a computer. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I started picking up an interest in motorcycles, and kind of stemmed from there that I started backing away from computer stuff and decided to start working on motorcycles.
Cool. So, you ride currently?
Yeah.
And what are you riding?
So I have three.
Wow.
The one that everybody likes that's kind of stemmed from my favorite color is I have a 2015 Dyna Wide Glide, and it's the Harley radioactive green.
Oh.
And yeah, if you've seen our logo, the radioactive, or like the Arctic green, is one of my favorite colors. So that's kind of where all of the green comes from. And I put a Springer front end on that, a TC Brothers Springer front end on it, and did some copper colored details to it, and that's the one that is solo rider, a little bar hopper. And then I have a 2014 Tri-Glide, And the other one is a 96 Heritage Classic that I bought for my wife because she wanted to start riding, but now she hasn't decided whether she can get the shifting down. I'm like, well, we have a Tri-Glide. Practice on that first.
Right. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. Heritage Softail would be great first bike for her.
Yeah. It's a solo rider, and it's nice. It was her friends that passed away, so it was like the last bike that they had available. So I was like, we just got to go buy it. And she's like, even if I don't ever ride it, at least it's a memorabilia of hers. So
right. That's very cool. Very cool. So you took this interest, like what you said 5 years ago. Is that the first time you've ridden? Like, did you just start riding then, or did you, like some of us grew up riding and then stopped for a while and then got back into it? How'd that work for you?
Well, I mean, quads and dirt bikes and snowmobiles, so riding the toys was always fun. I kind of stopped. So at one point, I started out liking snowmobiles when I was, young, and my dad had one, and then he decided to trade it, which, on a snowmobile, I could ride that, 12, 15, 13 years old, whatever.
Right.
That easy riding. Well, then he traded it for, I think it was like a Honda Shadow 750, and there was no way I was holding it up. I was so mad at him when he got this bike. And I watched him ride, and I never really got into it until later on, with kids and family and stuff. And eventually I started out on a little Honda Rebel 250. That was my first like street starter, simple, light, easy to handle.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
And then it kind of just stemmed from there. When my dad passed away, I inherited his what was it, a 2000 Yamaha Royal Star Venture.
Oh yeah,
that thing,
the cruiser.
It weighed so much. It was terrifying the first time I got on it because I was so used to smaller bikes.
Right.
Top heavy, like 940 or 50 pounds. Yeah. Then it kind of just stemmed from there. It just was like after the Yamaha, I was like, I started hanging around with a bunch of people, and they're all like, oh, Harley. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see what everybody's talking about. And
so there is a difference, isn't there?
Oh, definitely. There's definitely a difference.
People don't get it, but until they get it,
Right. And there's nothing wrong with the metrics. Like Yamaha's, they're good running bikes.
Oh yeah.
Certain models, like the Royal Star Venture, like I had 2 inches taken out of the seat, so I sat lower in the seat, and I did a bunch of work to the bike just to make it more comfortable for me, Barz, which was way more difficult than doing it on a Harley.
Really?
Yeah, it was a little more time consuming than doing it on a Harley. Harley makes things a little easier, a little plug and play on certain things. I think that's one of the things I like about Harley is the versatility that Harley has compared to some of the other bike companies.
Nice. So 5 years ago, you got bit by the motorcycle bug and you started riding. Did you start working on them right then too, or?
Well, working on my own.
Working on your own?
Really, yeah. I really didn't start getting into working on other people's. Let's see, it was probably a year after that.
Okay.
And a year after that, and decided to, it'd be nice to have my own shop. I was tired of working for other people.
Right. So is that when Behind Barz Cyclewerkz was born?
That was born, I think it'd be, it's getting close to 4 years.
Nice.
3.5.
So what kind of things do you guys do there?
A little bit of everything. I still am working on getting, a diagnostic machine. Future endeavors is, some high-end tools, which everything is just crazy priced right now.
All right.
Well, we do our, you do your standard. We do our standard 3-hole oil changes, tire changes. I just got a different tire machine. I now have access to hard drive. I'm a hard drive dealer, or Western Power Sports. We have AMSOIL here too. In the process of trying to become drag specialties, that's just a little bit longer money-wise endeavor than I was expecting.
Yeah.
We have I think it's what is that over there? Yeah, we have a Street Glide that came in. We're redoing a whole top end on it because the piston rings went bad and blowing oil.
Oh.
So we got one tore apart right now. Got a 75 Sportster in here that's been in the shop 3 times. That one's definitely got some major issues.
Yeah, that's a classic there, 75.
Yeah, it's a nice bike. We ended up talking him into getting a different bike and to ride as a daily rider, so that way he could start turning this into like a show bike, because it definitely needs to be a show bike where you ride it, maybe once or twice a month, but not every chance you get.
So
some of the other stuff that we offer, we got the tires, annual services, clutches, battery replacements, handlebar upgrades, lowering kits, air ride. I'm slowly working into becoming more efficient with stereo upgrades. That's a little tentacle I'm putting out there to try and get some more stereo stuff going.
Okay. So I actually saw you guys at Day of Thunder. You guys had a booth set up there. I thought that was pretty cool that you could roll up and get a 3-hole oil change right there. Are you guys doing a lot of that event wise, or have you been to a lot of events like that or done that?
We try to do an event, at least once a month. The on the spot oil changes was something that RJ had asked, and I was like, you want to know what? I mean, I got 2 smaller lifts. Why not try it? It wasn't too bad for the first time. I think next year I definitely need to have some more signage.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they see the 2 lifts there, and that I think they just didn't know exactly what we were doing because it wasn't posted visually good enough. But I'm definitely for sure going to be doing that again next year, hopefully in a different location at the Speedway, but we'll see.
Yeah, you guys were tucked around in back there. Kind of went. Yeah. Did you do any oil changes?
We did 2.
2? Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it covered expenses, so
yeah.
It was a break even. That was good enough for me and got exposure out there.
Right. That's good. I think that's pretty good.
Plus, I got to put my flag on my sissy bar and ride around the track like an idiot.
Yeah, we had one of the guys that's in our club rode around, and he went in kind of hot. Now he was on a bagger, and he got sent up the track a little bit.
Yeah, it catches you off guard.
Yeah. Now later, they had said that they were going to get some people out there. I think it was after hours, and I declined because I had been partaking in some adult beverages. But I went there, and I had wanted to ride around the track. We went last year, and we went in a cage. But this year we actually rode down, but I did
Nice.
not.
Right. I did see a couple of videos where they had posted where they were doing the riding at night. I don't know if I'd want to do that on a track at night.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing was I was more concerned about goofing up in front of all these people, you know.
Right.
That wouldn't look very cool. If it could have been, I probably should have done it at night. I probably should have waited and not I had some adult beverages and done it when everyone was gone. But I did not. But there's always next year. So you are a part of the Steel Horse Ranch. Is that how that? Explain a little bit of how
Correct.
that works.
So I had met Mike a few years ago, and he lives right down the road from me, like 2 miles. We started hanging out and riding together, and we would usually end up being at some bike night around here together. And he's been to the shop a few times, and I helped him, and he helped me. And at some point, I had told him, eventually I wouldn't mind being in a building because I was doing it out of my garage.
Right.
And it just happened one day. He pulled me aside and says, "Hey, I got this opportunity. Would you be interested? I want to talk to a couple other people, a couple of our other friends, and start up a motorcycle shop with other stuff available." And there's not much out in this area. There's a few other shops in this area, which are great shops. So he was like, "Yeah, let's get this going." So we got tees and things. She runs up front, so we have apparel. She has a bunch of stuff that she makes, jewelry, some signage on some wood slabs. What else does she make? She makes T-shirts for the ladies, tank tops, and then tumblers. And she does a bunch of other things. She was actually just at an event, the Witches.
Oh, yeah.
Event in Cottersville, or I don't remember exactly where it was.
Yeah, I seen
so
something on
there.
Facebook. Yeah.
And then we have Double Take Custom. He does our paint, so he's in his own little separate building. So the building that we're in is kind of like a pole barn, and then with an addition, that's where tees, and then the paint shop is separate. And we have, I would say, about 3 acres.
Oh wow!
So we set up a little pavilion. Mike had a pavilion made, so that way we have an area for people to sit. So we actually hold events here. We started out slow this year. Next year, we're hoping at minimum 1 event a year or a month, and possibly 2 events a month, which are stressful and time consuming, but
yes, they are.
People in the area,
Right.
We have some great barbecue guys, and we're always looking for more vendors. Anytime we're holding an event, we try to post ahead of time, at least a month, that we're going to be holding an event, so that way we can let vendors, come and get a spot, because we have enough room for at least 10 vendors, 10 by 10s,
Yeah.
plus the bikes and stuff. It's a nice location.
Cool. Yeah, I actually just reached out to the other 2 businesses there and try to get them on here. I would like to get Mike on here as well. So
and Mike and his friend, his childhood friend, they get auction bikes, and then they bring them up here, and we behind Barz Cyclewerkz works on them. And then if they need some touch-up paint and stuff, we get them roadworthy, and make sure they're good running bikes. And then he puts them out for sale. I mean, he has them posted on Facebook. He doesn't have a website yet,
Right.
Being we just started this year, all of that stuff takes a little time.
Oh yeah.
We're all still working on it.
Very cool. Very cool. So, curious, because one of the upgrades I'm looking at doing is Barz on my 14 Ultra.
Okay. Are you looking for like meat hooks or?
Well, yeah, but I don't want anything crazy. I really want something that kind of still behind the fairing, like 10-inch, something like that.
The majority of the time, you can go, most standards that come are between an 8 and a 10. So if you go with a 10, you're going to be close to the same that you're already at. You can go up to a 12 and a 14 without actually having to change the cables.
Right.
When you get up to the 16s, that's when you have to change the cables, which is a little more time consuming and money. And
right.
The average person usually does about 12.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I just want it to be so my hands are still behind the fairing a bit, and just to help block that wind, because we rode yesterday and it was 46 when we left here, so I like to have my hands a little bit tucked behind. What brands of bars do you carry? How does that work?
Well, right now I don't.
Say I wanted to bring my bike in and have bars put on it.
So I can get bars from Hard Drive, which I just got their book, and so that was this week. I have ordered a couple things from them so far, and I know they have a whole bar selection. The last time I ordered bars, I ordered them from Dominator, plug and plays.
See, and that's what I was looking at.
Right, and it just depends on the year of your bike too, because some bikes are plug and play and some aren't. And when they're not plug and play, you have to depin and pull wires, and it can be difficult. I actually enjoy doing it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Even though I get frustrated, it was always the running joke when somebody would bring bars in and it had to be depinned. They would be like, "Oh, Tim's got to do the bars."
So
there's little tricks to it now.
I imagine.
So.
Yeah, I imagine once you've done it a few times, you learn. So all right, let me ask you this question. If a guy were to bring his bike in and he had his bars already and he said, "Hey, I want you to put these on my bike," that wouldn't be an issue?
No. I mean, I've done a couple of them like that where somebody already had the bars, It just depends, like, the labor wise is just going to depend on whether, hey, I'm changing a plug-in, I'm taking off stock bars,
right,
doing a plug and play, you have to pull a few wires. If, I have to depin and pull all the wires out and then re-put the wires in, it's a little more time consuming. So labor goes up a little bit. But.
Right. Now, apparently you do suspension upgrades too. You do lowering, all that stuff too?
Yep. We actually just did, our buddy's bike had to redo a whole air ride system. And then, he's actually bringing it back for the winter because he's upgrading to a better air ride system.
Oh, wow.
So that'll be one of my winter projects because he's got a bunch of other things he wants to do to it. So. And
he's planning ahead.
Oh yeah, he's definitely planning ahead.
Well, that's good. It's good to plan ahead, I think.
Yep. I try to. But
yeah, it doesn't always work that way.
Sometimes it ends up being a day-to-day process.
Yeah, and I'm sure with some people, it's like a lot of times with me, it's when I have the time, I don't have the money, and when I have the money, I don't have the time, kind of thing.
Right.
So here's a question. I saw this out on the interwebs on Facebook, and I thought about it, and I have my own personal opinion, but it's kind of what you do. One of the services you offer. So somebody was talking about doing an oil change before putting their bike up for the winter. Is there any validity to that? Or I always thought it would be better to do it after you bring your bike out, because then any condensation or anything that might have gotten in your oil while it was sitting all winter would be.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on, like, if you have like a heated garage, or I
guess that would be the first thing to consider.
Right. Right. Like, I mean, if you're keeping it in a cold garage, you know, I mean, you definitely have the chance of the condensation build up. And, you know, I mean, on mine at home, I keep mine at like between 45 and 50. So it never gets cold enough in there.
Right.
To create too much condensation.
Right.
But I have a little bit of both. I have some that want to do it so that way they're ready. And then others, you know, you get them last minute. Oh,
yeah.
Spring, I need to get, yeah. It was 65 today. I'm ready to ride.
Yeah. Yep. I get that. I think any of the service industries with those kind of toys, like side by sides, snowmobiles, they're always like first snow and it's a rush. When the season starts for like motorcycles, it's a rush, tires, oil, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So do you carry a specific brand of tire, or you just whatever they want you can get?
I like the Dunlop Elite. But that doesn't mean I won't put on, you know, if somebody brought me some Shinkos, I mean, I'll put on some Shinkos. I did hear that the Shinko, the cruisers, the 999s, somebody did tell me that they got almost 12 or 13,000 miles out of a set before you had to change them. And I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought Shinkos went way faster than that.
Well, I actually am running a 777 on the back of my Ultra right now. And
which is a softer pack.
And yeah. And I've got probably 7,000 or 8,000 on that right now. And it's still got good tread life on it. I'm going to measure it here because we're doing a little YouTube video on them. So,
right. I know the Shinkos are becoming a lot more popular that the price wise. So.
Right. And that was my kind of our drive was, here's this tire. It's like half the price of a Dunlop.
Right.
And if you talk to people if you are foolish enough to post a question on Facebook, you're going to get both sides. People are, they're junk, blah, blah, blah. It didn't last me 5,000 miles, or you're going to get people that love them.
Right. It depends on how you ride.
It does.
I have two Dynas. I call them Dyna Bros.
Dyna Bros.
And yeah, the one, he is definitely, he came from dirt bike into street bike, and he is a hard rider. And he puts the Shinkos on there because it's more affordable. What he likes that they bite. Like
they are very sticky. Yeah, they are very sticky.
So I've already put 2 of them on this year.
Oh wow!
I just actually put one on for him, I think a week ago, and those are what he likes, you know. And he's like, if I'm gonna ride hard, I don't want to put a $300 tire on if I'm gonna ride hard.
Right. So you're not pushing any brands. Somebody can come in with their tire or their Barz or their whatever, and you'll install it. You don't have a problem with that.
No, I have no problem with that. I mean, I have my, you know, like I'm for AMSOIL because I supply AMSOIL,
right.
But that doesn't mean, you know, some people don't like full synthetic, you know.
Right. So,
you know, I have access to other oils if that's what they want. I mean, it's the customer's preference, you know.
That's pretty cool because I know some shops will push the brands that they want to push, and you know you can't walk in there and say, "Oh, I want to put these on." Well, no, I don't deal with those. That's not my brand. That's
right.
But so that's cool that you would just, hey, yeah, we'll do it.
Right. I'm here to grow the business, and if I limit myself, it's not going to help me.
Right. Very true. I'm growing the podcast, and you got to look at all different angles of people that are into bikes. And as I said, getting a shop or two on here, that's always a good thing. People are always looking for
right.
stuff to get done to them, that can't turn a wrench or don't want to turn a wrench, or maybe afraid to turn a wrench.
Right.
So why don't you give a big old shout out for where you're at, your phone number, how people can get a hold of you.
Okay. Yeah, so we're located at 1965 Mertz Road, just south of Carroll. My phone number is 989-455-1187. Both Steel Horse Ranch and Behind Barz Cyclewerkz are on Google Maps, which if you go to either one of them, when you search them, you can get our hours, our business hours, and then our phone numbers. For me personally, right now, I work 2 jobs. I still have my office job. So
Right.
my office job, I work Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then I'm here at the shop Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday by appointment, I usually come in and clean and reorganize and try and fix whatever, issues that we need with stuff around the shop. So
here's another question. Is it just you, or do you have a team?
I have one mechanic right now, and I always have people that come in and are like, I'm looking for stuff. I actually we had another guy that lives in Texas, and he comes up here during the summer, and he stopped in. He likes to deal with he's been working with Ron Finch, and so he's trying to do a few little things and before he goes down to Texas. So he stopped in. But I do have one mechanic on staff. He comes in the days that I'm here. So, and sometimes if I have errands to run, he's here on the days too. So
Cool. Well, sounds like it's a good start to something really awesome.
Yeah, it's a good spot. I mean, the premises was to make it just a stop. Like if you're out riding,
Right.
Hey, let's stop Steel Horse Ranch, Behind Barz Cyclewerkz. We have beverages. We, walk around the shop. And based on the limited space, I mean, technically you walk in here and you can see us working on bikes. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not like we're hidden in the back because it's not that big of a building. So
I'm kind of planning a little road trip to go see my son over in Lapeer. So, I might just make a detour-ish and,
yeah, that'd be cool.
come check the place out and, shake hands and stuff like that.
I'm usually in Lapeer at least twice a month on part runs to races. So.
Oh, cool. Yep. Yeah, my son lives over there. Of course, I don't know. I mean, he could live pretty much anywhere, I guess, because he works from home. But yeah, he's actually involved in the community theater over there, and they're doing a play.
Nice.
So I'm gonna go over and see his play on the 26th and make it a adventure, I think. So.
Well, that'd be pretty cool.
All right, man. Tim Schultz from Behind Barz Cyclewerkz. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Like I said, I think I'm going to make a little detour over to check you guys out a little bit closer.
Yeah,
I seen your tent and stuff at Day of Thunder, and of course I was busy, and so I was helping out RJ, but I saw you guys, and I'm like, and I remember seeing the oil change thing on his post, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I wanted to get over and talk to you guys, but I was just busy. And
oh yeah, I think we all were.
Yeah,
I got bored. I got bored there a little bit. That's kind of why I attached my flag to the sissy bar and was like, yeah, let's go around the track. I'm bored.
Yeah, you guys were in a pretty good spot for seeing the track, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we were right there.
Almost.
The premises was like, oh, they're gonna pull in, they're gonna see you. And I definitely think it was the signage. Like, I need to make sure I have, like, if I do it again next year, which I plan on it, a big sign that says on the spot, oil change.
Yeah, get a banner. They're not
blah,
that
blah,
expensive.
blah.
Get like a 10-foot banner. They're not that expensive. That'd be cool. Put your logo on it and on the spot oil changes or something.
Yep. Yeah, we have some other things in the works, too, that I always tell everybody I feel like I'm an octopus because I always like, oh, this, and I put my tentacle out there. So I try to keep my options open. Because,
right.
you can't just stay focused on one thing, even though it's stressful sometimes, but you got to have other options available.
Yeah, you got to think outside the box sometimes.
Definitely.
All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast, and we'll be in touch. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This episode will probably drop this week, Wednesday. So
okay.
I'll shoot you a link.
What exactly does it air on?
If you are a podcast person, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, I mean, it's Pandora, iHeartRadio. We're pretty much everywhere. YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty much everywhere.
Cool.
And I'll send you a link to the episode. So I'll get your email. So then you'll just be able to click right on the link. And then you can share it, and I'll share it, and I'll put your logo out there, and maybe you'll get a little extra business.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know, right? Nothing wrong with that.
I need it.
Helping everybody out.
So I can. Yep.
All right, man. Well, have a good night. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy day. I know you're busy changing lights and getting the shop in shape.
Brighten it up so we can see.
Yep. All right, man. Well, bikers, that's all I got for you this week. Life is short. Get after it. Thanks for listening to the Mid-Michigan Biker Podcast. Remember, bikers, life is short. Get after it.